Welcome to Mom's Dream Big
with Sarah
and Margie.
Oh my goodness, Sarah. This is our first episode. All the planning and praying and talking about it.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
here. It's happening.
We are so excited. So welcome to Mom's Dream Big podcast
Sarah and Margie.
with Sarah and Margie.
We can't wait to share all these things and journeys with you. And just being a mom, being a woman, being real, and what God has been showing us for so many years already. So you ready to dive in?
Yes, we are just here to inspire you, to tell you that you don't really have to pick between motherhood and your dreams.
So, as a mom and a business owner, you're going to need help. And
Yes.
thank God for technology, because ChatGPT helped us in figuring out all these awesome questions. So, number one thing is we're going to tell you a little bit about us. And question number one is, tell us a little bit about yourself and what does it look like to be a mom and a business owner. So, do you want to start?
Sure. So I am Sarah and I'm married and I have 5 beautiful children and
They're gorgeous.
one grandbaby.
Doesn't her skin look amazing to have 5 children? Like, she's just glowing.
Thanks to my son who's doing the camera right now because he make our skin glow. But anyways, I have 5 kids and they are 26 years old, 25 and 24 and then 10-year-old twins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and you have a grandbaby too.
I have a 2-year-old grandbaby turning 3. Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's so
Yes.
precious.
And we homeschooled the twins and now I'm running full-time business.
Can you believe that? Like, I don't know how this woman does it. Homeschooling, grandma duties, business duties, because your business, she's going to tell us a little bit about it, but she does like conferences and shows. So I'm looking forward to hearing how you put yourself out there. How do you manage your time and the bead making? I'm already jumping the gun because
Yes.
it is so good. I'm so
I'm
excited
so
to hear all
excited.
these details. A bit about me, I'm Margie, and I've been married. This is our 15th year of being married. I'm married to Ludwin. We work together, so we also both have a husband-wife working dynamic, and we're still happily married.
The challenge.
Yep, so we'll probably have to have an episode about that.
Yeah.
How to work with your husband and how, because it does take a few years to get used to that, right?
Oh my gosh. Yes. You have 2 different brains and 2 different styles of working. Mm-hmm. So I'm so glad we're still married, right?
Yeah, and succeeding in business
Yes,
and
succeeding.
in life. I have 4 children. We were homeschooling at the beginning, and the way I stepped into business was I felt God calling me to let go of homeschooling, and that was a huge step. Like, I remember just praying and fasting and just asking God, if going back to work is what you want from me, I need confirmation in the sense I want my kids to go to a particular school. And it was a charter school, and they had a lottery system, and God actually got them in. All 4 kids got into that same school. So it was, for me, that was a huge miracle and confirmation that God was with me in making this decision. But yeah, that's me right now. We work in real estate. I'm a realtor, so I feel like it's a 7-day, 365-day job. And but I love spending time with my clients and pouring into them, as well as making sure I prioritize our children and my marriage and date nights and things like that.
Oh my gosh, Margie and Ludwin are such a great realtor. Actually, they are our realtor before we became friends. They're so amazing. So actually, we moved from Minnesota to Texas. Mm-hmm. Oh my word! We need a whole. I need a whole episode of just
I know,
telling
because I
how they
remember
are.
clearly how I met you.
Right? We look at like so many homes because like I am probably pickiest, and they just helped us. They helped us that journey, and it's been so amazing, and now we're friends, and you barely have that kind of like relationship. You barely can find that kind of relationship when you are working together and later on we become friends. So
Yeah.
that's amazing. So I like what I said, I can sit here and tell what they do. And yeah, so I'm so excited.
Okay, so question number 2 is, how did God spark the idea in your heart to pursue something beyond motherhood? Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
How did God spark? So for me, is it okay if I go first?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I've always been a little entrepreneurial. Like as a child, I'm from New York, and for me, my dream store as a child, like my mom would take us shopping all the time, and my dream store was Macy's. And in New York City, Macy's, you have the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Macy's is the one that does the July
my
4th
word.
fireworks. They're the ones with the beautiful decorations during Christmas. And so I remember aspiring, I'm going to own Macy's one day, and I'm going to be a store owner.
I love that.
And I'm going to have an apartment. And I imagined being a mom, but I never really imagined it. Like the actual day-to-day things that kids require.
Yes.
So I always thought of myself in business, and it wasn't until I got married. I didn't actually pursue business because, I don't know, I guess I grew up in an environment saying women are just moms. Women are just moms. And
Yes.
that was,
Yes.
and
Homemaker.
homemakers.
Yes.
You just dedicate yourself. And I was happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm really happy in being a stay-at-home mom. And something that when I got married, we were on a budget.
Yeah.
When we got married, we were young, broken. And so I bought all my table linens. I remember buying all my table runners for our reception. And back then, there wasn't like social media how it is now. There were forums.
Yes.
And there were blogs. Do you remember
my
the day
gosh.
of forums and blogs?
Yes,
And
yes.
so I remember just posting on this wedding website, hey, I have runners for rent available for sale, because I don't even want these anymore.
Wait, I love this story. Okay, if you want to pay attention, like very closely, pay attention to this story. I love this.
And so I posted these runners, like it was a table runner that was in the center of the table, just a little decoration. I think I had bought them for $3. I was selling them for $2 each. And someone was like, I don't want to buy them. Can I rent them from you? And she's like, can I rent them at $1 from you? And I was like, okay, I had not thought of that. Sure, how does this work? And I'm like, I'll ship them to you, and then how do I know I'm going to get them back? I'm like, I'll send you a return label. So I included within the price shipping to ship it to her and to ship it back. And I actually got them back.
Okay.
And then other people started asking me in that same little forum, just the thread continued, and someone else, hey, can I rent it from you for this day? And I'm like, sure. And then someone else, do you have them in so-and-so color? And so we were back in New York, and in New York you can find all these like stores and wholesalers. So I went to a wholesaler and I just started buying wedding tablecloths and linens. And in the first year from that post, I had 100 sales. Like I remember closing out the year, and I was like, it was the last week, and I remember seeing 99. I had an Excel sheet, and I had 99 orders. And like the 2 days before New Year's, I remember I got my last order, and I completed the year with 100 orders. And so I was like, wow, God, you just did something amazing. Like you just surprised me and blew me out of the water with this. However, and that continued on and on and on for a few years until we got pregnant and we decided to move to Texas. And when we decided to move to Texas, it completely changed. Like all that business favor just stopped. Like dead stop. And all of a sudden, there were no more orders. And I had actually switched over to being a floral, like doing wedding linens. I became a florist.
Yeah.
in New York. I remember my last wedding before moving to Texas. It was at a New York penthouse. It was amazing. It was the prettiest.
Wow.
I felt like I finished my wedding season with a bang, with those wedding florals. And I turned into a wedding planner. So I was a day of coordinator, and I'll share stories about that. How Ludwin and me would tag team on our cell phones and be like, okay, take the groom out, take the bridesmaids out, and when we came to Texas, all of a sudden it was dead silent. It was like God put a pause on the business, and I could definitely just tell He wanted me to focus on motherhood.
Oh my goodness, yes.
And fast forward, we had 4 babies in 4 years. Ludwin would say it's Texas water. I would just say it's a surprise because we didn't plan it. And we had 4 babies in 4 years, and at that 4-year point, I was going a little house crazy because I had 4 babies, all in diapers. Wow. And I was afraid of getting in the car with all of them. I remember my first grocery trip with 2, and I locked my first one in the car. I had locked the babies in the car, and I'm begging Samantha as a 2-year-old, Samantha, go to the door and unlock it, press the button. I'm crying in tears. And I was like, I'm a terrible mom. And I never went grocery shopping with the kids again. And so I stopped going out. So I think I was just like stuck at home with 4 kids. And I started just dreaming about business. And God just started putting ideas into me. Like, what can I do in the house that can make... It wasn't even about the money. It was more of like that I can be creative again, because I loved being creative with the linens. I love seeing all the pretty things that the brides would pick out, like the gold and this. And when I started working with flowers, I just loved creating things and being like hands-on with my hands, and I just missed that. And we'll have to launch into a different episode of all the different crazy things, because I launched into trying to be a floral wholesaler, and I bought a pallet of frozen flowers so I can distribute to every single floral shop in DFW. And I remember with my husband, the 2 of us visiting 78 floral stores in DFW, one by one, giving them free sample flowers so they can work with us.
Well, talking about really dreaming with your husband. So he gets that. So that's why he went with you. That's a lot of stores.
And, but then God just sparked all that. And going back to the story, how to pursue something beyond motherhood, I've always wanted to make sure my kids felt that they were my number 1 priority. So we've always made sure that, yes, I love business. I love working with my husband. Obviously, it provides for our lifestyle, but I never want to get lost in that, that I put aside my kids. So we are really purposeful and intentional about like protecting Sabbath, like Shabbat, like we do. Sometimes we make the bread, and most times we buy the bread.
Whatever works.
Whatever works. And we just light the candles, and we just say the blessings, and we say the prayers, and we all go around to saying what we're thankful for. And usually I'm the one that's prompting the kids what to say. But it's just the memories of just being intentional with the kids. And I don't know, God just put those, He's the one that puts those desires in our hearts, isn't He? It's like, or maybe I think He's also wired some of us that way.
Yes.
Because I remember Wild. At our church, there's a class called Women's and Leadership Development. And the final class I remember from taking that course years ago was presenting what is God calling you to do. And I remember one mom, she just really inspired me, and she said her calling was motherhood. Like, she didn't want anything outside motherhood. She loved being a mother, and she was so good at it. And she homeschooled, and I remember her just showing us her planner of how she plans out on Sundays how to be a good mom. And well, not how to be a good mom. Obviously, you're going to be a good mom. But she meal planned, she lesson planned, she prepared.
With intention.
Yes, with intent. I just loved how devoted she was to her calling as a mother. And at a moment, like, sometimes I felt guilt-tripped. I'm like, oh, man, I'm not a good mom like that, because I don't plan out my days like that. I'm more dreaming of, I want to build a business. But You know, God's wired us all differently. God's wired us all differently, and I
Yeah.
believe if you don't have a desire to be a mom, not to be a mom, if you don't have a desire to be like a business owner like that, it's fine. I don't think everyone's called to be a business owner, but
Yeah.
the ones that are in this space
Yes.
have that inkling, like desire
Yeah.
to do something different, right?
Do something different. Yeah. I love her story. And, we're going to go over more of each of our story. And our hope is you can be inspired and learn something from it and take away something that you want to take. And you don't have to take everything off we say, but we're just here to inspire. But I love what you said, that you just want to touch everything, because we are actually, what I'm learning, women are tactile.
Yes.
So that's why we shop.
No, yes, that is the only reason why we shop.
So when you're like actually going to the store, you like to, like it took a while before all of us shop at, places like online shopping and all that stuff. And for me, I felt like I still need to go to the mall. I still need to go to the store because I need to touch stuff and all that stuff, because we are tactile. Human being. We like to touch, we like to feel, and when we touch and we feel, we feel connected. I don't know about you, but that's how I feel. I will go home and I'm like, should I still get that? Like I learned from a lot of mistakes in my life, from the things that I got that I should have not gotten. So anyways, this is for another time. Thanks for sharing your story. I always love hearing your story, and
thank you.
We're going to do more of that. So
what sparked business past motherhood?
Gosh.
Like to pursue something outside of motherhood?
Okay. So for me, I am always entrepreneur and creative. And both of my parents are in business. So both of them, they have their own businesses. Actually, I think my dad was the one who introduced business to my mom. Yeah, but they got separated, eventually. But anyways, I think I have adopted that, and I always love that connecting to people. So I remember when I was younger, I grew up, I was born and raised in the Philippines. Just a backstory, and I was a singer for 20 years. So I do travel in different countries, and that's how I met my husband, Marshall, in Middle East. He was in the Navy, and I was a singer there. And next thing you know, the next is history. We're married. Anyway, so I remember when I used to live at my grandma's house, and I will ask my mom to buy me, go to like a kind of like a Costco or something, buy me wholesale of 6 pieces of these chips, do kind of like a ice crushing machine, and it's kind of like a snow cone, but have like fruits in it.
Okay.
And then I will display there. I love to display things. I will display every single thing, and I will stand there, and then I will tell them to buy my goods all the time.
Wow.
And when I was in elementary and in high school, I sell different things like stationaries. So I will buy a pack of stationaries, the scented one back in the 90s and 80s, and it smells good. And I would not sell pack. I will sell per piece. 1 paper or 2 paper and envelope. Even so,
Look at you.
Yeah, I will sell them or I will trade them. So, and then after that, I will treat my friends. Like, let's go, I'll buy you a burger. Because back in the days, burgers are cheap. So you can like buy everybody's burger. So that's, when I was growing up, even when I was a singer, how I started actually how I started thinking about business when actually I retired being as a singer. I remember I said, I'm going to rent a booth in some bazaar, like a vendor. And I said, I don't have any money with me because I spent it all. But I have too much clothes. I have too much clothes from when I was singing. But because that clothes doesn't match what I'm currently doing already that time, I said, I don't need these clothes. So I sold the clothes. I got the money from it. and then I buy goods
That's
to
so
start
smart.
a business. And from there, I started a business, like kind of like a bazaar or whatnot, from being gently used clothes. So I will ship. We have this website called Multiply back in the Philippines or back in Asia. So people will order online and I will ship them. I love shipping. I love packaging and every single
Were
thing.
you-
And I like
So
handwritten
you were like
notes.
your own Shopify?
Yeah, I was on Shopify. And then you know what? My store name is actually my first and last name.
Aw.
I never thought about like what name. Anyways, so that's what I did. So after that, I said, you know what? I can do this, and I can go to different vendors. I know it's. I went behind people and I said, hey, I'm going to, I'm your coordinator, and I'll find a place for you, so you can be a vendor, and I'm your point of contact. That's what I
so
did, like the
smart.
coordinator. So I have a booth, and I'm also the coordinator of that. So I rent a whole space, and I get like many vendors, and
That's
then
so brave of you. You just rented a space.
I rented a space back then. It's like, again, it's not very expensive, but I was so happy doing that. And then I moved here in the US. I was a very independent woman. I have, business. I've been, a singer I was in the music industry for, 20 plus so years. So I'm used to that life that it's just not me. Like, I'm very independent. And then I moved here, got married, and then, never thought about, just not doing anything. Not doing anything. And I felt like you, God has been calling me to stop everything, what I know, and new learn things. So motherhood, it's been there in my heart. But this time I was like, okay, now it's time to learn really, really being a mom. And so fast forward, just like things here and there. So my husband was in the Navy. If we're short in money, I know how to make it. So I really know how to make it. So I remember we lived in San Diego, back in San Diego. I said, oh my gosh, if you're in the Navy, they pay for your housing and they pay for your electricity and all that stuff. I said, since they pay for my electricity, I guess I can cook at home. So I got my handler certificate of food handlers, and I started catering. So I will cater, but also I will only cater during Fridays. So it means I will cook for people, and I will cook pans of food, Filipino food. And then, after that, we have like little leftovers from that, and I will put them in like kind of tray styrofoam, and I will post it on Facebook. This is available, like Facebook group. I have I have 10 available plates, or 20, however, and this is the price. Every Friday, I bring home $800 to $1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, but not so smart
And
about
because of the idea of free electricity, I love that.
free electricity, right? Because our stove was not gas; it was electric.
But I love how you
Yes.
thought about that. I'm like, let me take advantage of this.
Yes,
Benefit.
yes, yeah. So, but every Friday, I'm done cooking. So actually, my family is not eating my cooking because they smell it every Friday. So I will put down my apron and all that stuff, and we head outside to the mall and eat out every Friday. It's like all gone. And then I gotten into clothes again. So like, I always wanted to find ways to be that customer service, because I guess like one of the things that I love is serving people, I guess, in a way. So what I do, I wanted to serve them. But, I always think like, okay, how can I help? Like if we're short right now, how can I help? Fast forward, I felt that the Lord was calling me into the ministry. And so that's a different story. I'm not a reader. I don't read book that much, but I can listen to audios like this. Oh my gosh, when he called me to go back to school, I've read books and books. I read 13 books in 1 year.
Oh my goodness.
And prior to that, I did not. So he called me and I was like, oh, what is this for? And I think over time that taught me somehow, this is your servant's leadership. This is your servant's heart. That's why I brought you there. So when we moved to Texas, it changed, it changed a lot of things. He called me again to kind of like, not again, to just motherhood and focus. And it was quiet. I love it. I set up my homeschool room. I put it on Instagram to inspire other people. I'm like, look, I have
I remember you had the little carts.
I know, I still
You
have
know
the
the
cards.
Pinterest cards? All homeschooling mom has a Pinterest cards.
I know. Oh my gosh, I still have that card because now our homeschooling room turned into my business studio, and now we're homeschooling in the dining room. I asked my kids for like their permission if I can do that. Anyways, so I started homeschooling the kids, and I do love it. I always wanted to homeschool my older kids, but I'm scared that you have this myth that you have to be an educator to be a homeschooling mom, and I'm always scared that I will fail. And until COVID happens and we are all at home, and then that's where I got, an idea. Like, wait a minute, I can do this. And then the kids loves it. So every year I assess the kids, like, do you want them to go to school now? Do you want them to go to school now? Because my kids were, my older kids went to charter school growing up. So that, I love that motherhood part. I'm not a planner like the person that you mentioned, but I will write down everything and then we'll go from there. Like, we pick and choose. But I remember, wake up kids, and I will make them breakfast and they're so excited and all that stuff. But like in between, you kind of started questioning yourself. Like, is it all?
Is this it?
Like, and then when you start thinking about that, you feel guilty. Like, oh my gosh, how dare me to ask that question, right? I was asking myself about that. And then, people started saying like, you're so creative and all that stuff. And I was like, I almost forgot that I was or I am a creative because of things, so many changes in my life. So
I love that.
yeah,
We're going to have to talk about that.
Yes.
Remembering how the original stuff, like, sometimes we get so submerged in motherhood and church and marriage, and we lose a little bit that spark.
Yes, circumstance in your life make you not think about how you are wired and how God created you.
That's so good.
Yes.
I love that.
So moving here after a couple years of homeschooling, I remember this. So I always ask my husband to, and he's the,
He's so sweet.
I'm always like, yeah, let's do this. And of course, there's like a lot of businesses that actually I started and I will feel guilty. I will step back and shut down the business. One of them.
Guilty.
Yeah, guilty. Like, oh my gosh, like so bad. But I remember we can't have like anything, like we've never gone into any vacation because it's like I always think like we're short in money or finances. It's not like good. He's the breadwinner. And so I was like, I'm really tired of no's. I literally said, I'm tired of no's. I said, I can actually, I can just buy stuff, but also like if I get stuff, then I'll look at our bank account like, oh no, I should have not just gotten it. And it's not the material thing. It's just like feeling of like you are so restricted and you feel like there's nothing that you can do, just like being a homemaker. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, there's something inside of me that it is possible, right? It is possible, and that God created with us with a lot of gifts inside of us. Even right now, we were talking, it's not, there are gifts that we haven't discovered yet, and it's not activated yet. So one day,
deep stuff.
Yeah. One day I said, it was January. I remember like, what is your word of the year and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't know what's my word of the year, but I remember something in my heart. I stood up in front of him and I told him, babe, stand in front of me. And I said, I'm going to tell you something. And he said, what is that? I said, this is a yes year. And he's like, okay. quit saying no. I said, this is a yes year.
I love that faith. Goodness,
Yeah.
yes. This is a yes year, ladies.
I know it was a yes year for me. That was a, like not being irresponsible. Yes year to what God is saying
Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps.
asking you
I claim that right now.
in
Jesus'
obedience,
name, yeah.
right? And what is for you, because everything is already inside of you. So that was a yes year. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go to the conference. I don't know how I'm going to pay for it, but I went sign up different conference. Next thing you know, I was getting scholarship. By the way, the yes year or saying yes, it doesn't mean that it needs to come out from your pocket. If it's like a conference, spending wise, because you never know if that thing is gifted to you by the Lord, by God. So anyways, so I said, I really want to sign up for a mission trip. I love missions. I always wanted to go in different countries. And so I was like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go sign up. So I signed up and I was like, here I go again. I have to raise funds and I don't like asking and all that stuff. And I don't know if I have that kind of money. I really don't. But I have faith in me that it's a yes year. It's not something that, like when people say just manifest it.
Really?
No.
Was that the year?
That was a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to do that. And I remember I was like, kind of like my head down. I said, God, what did I just do? I signed up for this and I started sharing it and I told people that I'm going. And then I said, I can't back out now. I said, if you really want me to be here, you pay for it. That's what I said. You pay for it, Lord. Like, give me faith and give me courage of how to raise these funds. So long story short, I got an idea to make just bracelet because I felt like, okay, I always love arm candy, arm candy, whether if it's like leatherette wristlet or whatnot, or bracelet or watch, then that's the easiest thing to do that time. So I was like, how to do this? I remember the idea of making something tangible so people can have, and then writing them a words of encouragement. I remember that. I said, okay, if they buy something towards a mission trip, I will write them words and give them. So it's like a trade, right? A token of appreciation. And so I remember that selling these bracelets and going to Instagram, I said, okay, that was just my intention. And one day I was sitting at Coco Shrimp.
Yeah.
Eating food. And I was sitting ordering, and there's Coco Shrimp is so good. It's
so
like
good.
a restaurant local here in North Fort Worth. So if you come here, check out Coco Shrimp. You sponsor us.
Sponsor us, Coco Shrimp. We'll even eat in front of the camera.
Yeah, right? Oh my gosh. So I remember I was ordering, or Marshall was ordering, and there's this blue wall, and then I have my bracelet with me with words. I took a picture, and there's like a blue on top, like a blue background, and then I put mission with purpose. And I said, no. I said, well, this is stacked. I said, stacked with purpose, because the purpose of it is going to my missions. And then I was like, and then I took a picture. I posted on Instagram. I sat down on my computer. I don't know why I was doing this. I went to GoDaddy and registered the business.
Wow.
And after a week, I went to get my DBA, and I was like, what just happened?
Oh my goodness, girl. You just went all in.
I did not know. And I was like, I'm going to sign in on Shopify. We're here. Please sponsor. So I signed in. I did a free trial on Shopify. And I said, oh my gosh, I've never done like website. I have 2 weeks 14 days to do this website. So I sat down, I YouTube University, everything, Shopify. So I built a website within 14 days. And, and then so what ignited me, couple of things for me. I love people. I love serving. I love creating. And then I felt that God placed this desire in my heart. But also, He knows that I have been praying for something that, how can I help my family? Because I'm really tired of like not having anything or not having enough and not like always to worry, right? So I'm like, if you think that you can solve a problem and God giving you that dreams, I believe that all these blessings already, it's in our hands. So my encouragement, I asked Marshall, I said, can I pull up like $24 or 25? I said, probably 25. What is it for? I said, I'm going to make bracelet. I went to Hobby Lobby, get all the materials that I need for
Wow.
$25. And we're going to talk about these things and, like whatever charts or whatnot, just to kind of like share with you that things like this, it doesn't make sense sometimes when God calls us to rest a little bit and to recharge, and we feel like so empty, right? So fast forward now, I've been homeschooling. We're still homeschooling, but Marshall now is homeschooling the kids with me. So that is amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
That's
that's
an amazing husband.
oh my gosh. Yeah, so today we don't have homeschool on Friday. We leave Friday for field trips or like activities. But I said, hey, guess what? You can homeschool today. So they love it. Like, Daddy, let's go homeschool today. So they sat there in our dining room and started homeschooling.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I got so many good golden nuggets like from that. Thank you for sharing, Sarah.
Yeah.
Like the way you were able to voice out, I think, because right when you were saying how you felt as a mom before the business, just
Yeah.
like that, everything was no. Everything just felt like a no, and you're like, you were tired of it. Goodness, I felt like you put words to how I was feeling, because I had those feelings too, but I just never voiced them.
Yeah.
And you just put words into it, and I was able to connect with that. I was like, that's so powerful. Because, yeah, you're a stay-at-home mom. Sometimes you do face that one-income family, and I've met so many one-income families, like when I would do homeschooling play dates, and all the moms would just gather. And I remember years ago, it's like we would go out to play dates, and some moms, most of the moms would go out to Chick-fil-A afterwards. And I'm like, please don't go to Chick-fil-A. It's so expensive. I'm like, I don't have the money for that. And I remember feeling terrible just following them along because I wanted for all the kids to play together.
Yeah.
And I remember ordering one box of hash brown
Yeah.
because that's all I had. And so I can share it with all the kids.
Yes.
And I wouldn't eat. And I would just like, here's one hash brown. And they would just order kids' meals for all their kids. And I'm like, here's one hash brown. That's all we can do.
Wow.
I'm like, because we were just super tight.
Yes.
And you just feel like this desperate desire sometimes. Like, I need to do something. But I just love how you were like, you know what this is? You listen to God.
Yeah.
And you also believe that He had put in you the gifts and talents necessary to provide and bless your family.
Yeah.
And take care of your family like
Yes. Absolutely. I learned this, or I said that I had a time to study Acts 3. And when Peter and John was there walking towards Beautiful Gate, which is if you see a beautiful gate, that's all your eyes can capture. You will not see anything around. And there's like this lame beggar there. And he was there he was like that for 40 years, I believe. But they have an eyes for, like, they can see everything. So they came there, and this lame beggar says, can I have, coins or silver and gold? What did they say? Silver and gold I do not have, but what I have is I give you. So they don't have what he's asking for. And because the lame beggar asking for not healing, because he's been like that for many years. But what I'm trying to say is, think about things that you like to do in your life. What I like to do is really to serve people, and I'm passionate talking to people. And not only telling them, here's my product, and just like selling you that, like what Margie did for us. It was really after we bought the house, as our realtor, they continue to talk to their clients, even like we have no idea of when are we going to buy the house again. They keep doing that. They keep sending gifts and all that stuff. Marketing purpose, for you're doing that for marketing, but I believe that your heart is, no, this is the creative side of me. And I love doing this to people. I love making them smile. I love seeing them like that they are happy and feeling love and seen and all that stuff. So I believe that we encourage you that if your
Yes.
moms out there, what is your dream? For me, my dream is to be financially free, because that it doesn't end there, because I want to have time, because I want to have more time with my kids, more time with my family, not necessarily to get everything material things, not that. I do want to travel. I do want to serve more. I want to bring my family to a mission trip so they can experience it and all that God is calling me to do, so I don't have to think about that, oh my gosh, can I go to homeschooling after, like co-op, Chick-fil-A after without
Feeling guilty.
feeling guilty. By the way, so I started the business, right? It was so crazy, crazy. And then we can talk about, our businesses later on. But I said, I'm going to say yes this year, yes to this mission trip, yes to dreaming for family vacation. Family vacation. I was like, I don't know. I was just like saying yes to different things. But of course, kind of like counting the cost. But I think my faith went first before the logistic part. And then, and so because before I kind of like balance it off. So I said, I'm going to say yes. And if God says no, then he will make it no. So he will make it known to me. And then so I said, babe, yes, here. So 2022, when I started the business, guess what? Oh no, 2022? 2022.
Yeah, it was already 2 years ago since the missions trip. Was
Yeah,
it?
2022 is our mission trip.
Yes, I think so, yes.
Okay, so anyways, guess what? I brought my family to Navarre, Florida. And I know probably for you guys, like, oh yeah, like we go there. You don't have any clue. I can't bring my family to like anywhere. I brought them. We have Airbnb. We're a family of what? Probably we're 9 in that household because of my son-in-law and a baby, my grandbaby. So we did that for, 5-6 days.
Wow.
It was life-changing for us, and it was a milestone.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
And I bought a car because for years, since 2012, we only have one vehicle.
Wow.
Yeah. So God is amazing. So if he's encouraging you and have that dream in your heart, just ask him, what is my next step? Yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. That was like a loaded answer with so
Oh my
much
gosh.
good stuff. I'm like, oh
Yes.
my goodness. I always love learning from Sarah. Okay, our last
Yes.
question. I have my phone here
Okay.
with the questions. Okay, what was the first step you took? How did you move from feeling the nudge to actually taking action? Oh goodness, for the real estate business, because I've just jumped into businesses before.
Yeah.
And I'm like you, like, let's open up the website, GoDaddy, go do DBA. I hadn't done that one. I've opened up LLCs and I've even gotten a resale certificate just
Yes.
like that. I remember years ago I wanted to foster children.
Yeah.
So I remember taking the foster classes online. Laura was like, what are you doing? I remember looking into a garage daycare. I remember trying to sell my eggs or trying to host someone else's baby. Goodness, if there is something to do with money, I've looked into it.
Oh my word.
Like, sell a kidney, how much does that take?
Oh my goodness.
Because every time we would be tight, I would start selling things in my house.
Yes,
Logan would be like, where's the couch?
Yeah.
I sold his fish tank, guys. He had this gorgeous, huge wall-to-wall aquarium.
Wow.
And I sold it.
Oh no.
And I sold one time when PS4 had come out, or the PS5, I don't even know. I sold it.
Oh no.
And I've never been able to I still haven't been able to make that one back. I know that one's on my list of things to do. I have to get him that one.
Yes.
But
Gosh.
but real estate was the one I took a little bit more seriously.
Yes.
Letterman actually started that business. He jumped into real estate 10 years ago, and we have a long story before then. But I was a little afraid and apprehensive of me becoming a realtor.
Yeah.
I would actually help him at least with all the paperwork and I would help him with all his social media posts. Back then it was simple.
so
All
good.
you had to do was just post a picture.
Yeah.
And it
I
was
remember.
fine.
It was not complicated.
It wasn't
Yes.
complicated. And I even know how to I used to use Photoshop back then because I knew Photoshop. So
Yeah.
I would do like his name and all the colors and everything.
Nice.
But getting on the sales side of it, I was a little afraid because I was a stay-at-home mom. We had just gone through, the reason why we got into real estate was because of one of my bright ideas of flipping houses.
Yeah.
And that didn't actually work out so well. So the reason why he turned into real estate was because we went from wholesale to the retail side. And that's another video
Yes.
to talk about that. But I was just so apprehensive about, we had just come from the cusp of almost losing everything. And I was like, I don't know. I really don't want to touch. I don't want to rock the boat type of thing. I'm like, I think he's doing fine. I'll help him with the admin side and their contracts and the emails.
You're so sweet doing
but,
that.
But I'm like, I don't think I want to I don't want to rock the boat. I'm like, I feel like my hand's been in a lot of things and it hasn't always worked out. And therefore, I was really afraid. And I think I just blamed it. I'm like, I'm not going to let the kids out of my sight unless they go to a charter school or something. And I think I put up that wall and God instantly just like, I got all your kids in.
Oh, wow.
And we had tried for 2 years the lottery system at this charter school.
Yes,
and they
I
hadn't
remember.
gotten in. And that's why I was like, for 4 kids, 4 of them, to get into that charter school, I feel like that was just answered prayer at that point. And he just gave me and him a picture of working together. Like I remember I'm really visual with God, so I just get lots of pictures. And I just saw like my spiritual self and Ludwin's spiritual self and the Holy Spirit and the 3 of us just merging in one and just running.
Wow.
Running this race together.
Wow.
And God was like, you know what? Whatever business you decide to do it together. And that's why we haven't really deviated. Like there have been sometimes ups and downs within real estate.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years now that I'm a realtor, and there's been ups and downs. However, every time that we're in the lows, in the valleys, I always remember that visual of just partner together with God, the 2 of us in one. The only reason why sometimes we're in down is because the 2 of us have separated and misaligned in our vision or misaligned on whatever it is that we're talking about. But the second we get back into alignment with God, the 2 of us,
So good.
it just works. And it's just so much easier to do the business. And I think that's what made me take the first step, because knowing God was partnering with me, with us, my kids were taken care of. And I remember my first year of being a realtor, I was like, God, are you here? And he was like, yep, I'm here. Go for it. And all of a sudden, I would make a bunch of sales. And I'm like, the next month, God, are you here? And all of a sudden, I would make a bunch of sales.
Oh,
and
good.
we pretty much doubled in business in that first year.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Wow.
And I was just like, God, are you here? God, are you here? And every time he would just answer, yes, I'm here.
Yes, yes. So we're talking about partnership. I love it. Partnership with the Holy Spirit, partnering with God, because I just, might not realize, but this is the truth. Within 3 days when Jesus raised himself from the dead, there's 3 days first, right? He died, he got buried down, and then he raised himself up from the dead. But within that 3 days, there's a lot of things that happen.
Yes.
And also when God created the universe, it took 7 days. I mean, we're just saying that partnering with him in everything that you do, it doesn't have to be, you can be in a secular job, right? It doesn't have to be always in the ministry. But partnering with him, it can happen a lot more. A lot more can happen to you, to your business, to your dream. And I love that, because you said that the moment we are not aligned together, life gets tough, right? Or it's already tough, it's tougher.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yes. I just realized that with Marshall and I too, when we go through difficulties or or, like a difficulties or hardship in life. Like if I'm in my own head and he's like really a man of faith, like I feel like no one can shake him, or probably like he knows how to do, my anyways. So
I think both of our husbands are really calm.
yeah, calm.
So me and you can panic, and they're the steadfast voice. I think so. I think that's, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like your husband and my husband are so alike.
Yeah.
Like they're the quiet,
calm
guys,
Yes.
and we're more the outgoing.
Yeah.
We're the ones that connect
Oh,
with
no.
people.
Right.
And then when we also have an emotional breakdown, we're like, no.
I know. So yesterday I was just, it was like been 3 days. So if you're a mom, and you're working, especially at home, there are days that you're just wearing pajamas. Yes, it's true that when you put yourself like early in the morning, you put your makeup or you get dressed and all that stuff, you feel like more alive. That's so true. But those 3 days, just this past 3 days,
Hey,
I did not feel.
there's no guilt or shame here. I'm
Yes.
in my yoga pants and my sweatshirt
Oh my
all
gosh.
the time. Unless I have to see people,
I-
this does not happen.
I know. That's the easiest part. So I was in bed and I was just doing all computer work, my end and all that. I have like deadlines and all that stuff. Events wise, I don't have a lot this month. And then I was just working. So I closed my computer and I like just sat there and I was like, I'm really, really getting tired because I haven't gotten off the bed. I was just working there. And then so Marshall came and brought me a smoothie and he said, how are you today? I said, there's nothing happening in my life right now, babe. And he looked at me. He said, we just had an event like 2 days ago. What do you mean? I said, there's nothing happening. It's like, maybe you just, I don't understand. I said, so I think us that moms that who are always, always busy, it's either you're taking care of your kids, serving other people, meeting your friends or whatnot, or your work. You're constantly moving, and you're not allowing yourself to stop and rest and really have nothing, even like social media. Because sometimes we can like scroll and scroll and scroll. I get into that habit. I'm like, I don't like this. Wait, what is this video? Oh, that's so cute. But I was like thinking, wow, that's nothing, nothing's happening to me, but it is not. There's a lot of things happening. So that's kind of like, sometimes I go through that. Yeah.
And that's going to be probably a really good episode of, we go and go. And then sometimes God gives us these breaks.
Yeah.
And our bodies are still go. And he's helping us to slow down and pause. And we're like, no, my body's still running.
Yeah.
And I think we need to just catch up to the season that or slow down to the season that God wants us to go in.
Yeah.
But that's amazing too, though.
Yeah. Rest.
You have that rest and moment to recharge. Because
Yes.
I know I feel like last year you were super busy. Like you just had a bunch of events happening.
Last year was bigger events, bigger. I feel like this year it's different. We're still doing the same thing, but there are things that I have to like slow down here so I can do this and adding stuff. And that's excites me when there's always new things. So we're still trying to navigate this year. Like, where are we at right now?
Okay. Well, guys, I think that's a lot.
I know.
I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved hearing your story, and
Me
I
too.
hope you guys liked hearing
Yes.
about motherhood. And comment down below of where are you in this season? Like, what is God sparking in you to go something outside motherhood? And so what is God sparking in you what ideas is he putting in you? What ideas are you praying for? And we'd love to partner with you. So we are both, we believe that prayer is what moves everything.
Yes.
And we're both prayer warriors, and we'd love to pray for you as well. So comment down below how we can pray for you and just cheer you on.
Yes.
This whole space is because we want to cheer you on.
Yeah, that is our heart, is really to share with you our stories, our experience, to inspire you. So comment down below not only what God sparks in you, if there's any spark in your heart, or maybe you have a dream that you have set aside because you think that you have to choose between motherhood and your dreams. And we believe that everything should be in perfect time. And so we love to see you guys here again at Mom's Dream Big. Yay!